Let's face it, a life is a life, and I've had a really good one.
I am the morning DJ at WOLD, playing all the hits for you, wherever you may be. The bright good morning voice, who's heard but never seen, feeling all the 45, going on 15.
When you were sitting in front of a microphone, you felt even in the early days of commercial radio, you were communicating with people. And you got that feedback from the listeners when you went out into the streets. So you might say, well, do you do it just because you want to broadcast? Or do you want to do it because you want to become famous? Or do you do it because you want some fortune out of it? All three. Because the point is this, that is in your adrenaline. If you sit in front of the microphone and say, hi, welcome to a show and do the business, and you come out and you meet someone, I heard you on the radio this morning, doesn't that fill your heart with some sort of joy?
Time passages, yes, go falling in the fading light. Time passages, buy me a ticket on the last train home tonight.
Radio Luxembourg, your station of the stars.
I could tell you lots of stories about 208, about banging the gong. You're listening to Radio Luxembourg, your station of the stars. That was heaven to my ears. We got £1 every time we banged the gong. Can you imagine that? And we used to have a divvy up at the end. All the announcers used to get in front of Barry Aldis, the head presenter. He'd say, well, now you've done it 30 times this month, Paul, and you've got £30. And he used to hand it over.
This is Radio Caroline on 199, your all-day music station. From 6 o'clock every morning, Radio Caroline broadcasts music for each and every one of you on 199 meters medium wave.
We heard the bell go. This is Radio Caroline. I'm Simon D. From then on, we knew that radio would be changed forever, because before long, there were a myriad of ships up and down the North Sea, forts and everything else.
You're in tune with the new sound, the swinging sound of Radio England. Yeah, and we're glad you've taken time out to join us today, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to you, and it's a pleasure indeed to be spinning the hits of tomorrow today.
BBC Radios 1 and 2. The time is 5:30 on January the 1st. And hello and good morning, everyone. Yours truly, Paul Hollingdale, here in London.
And I always remember one of those suits, behind the door. The management said, Hollingdale, you've got a very, very good voice, but, you don't sound BBC. So I said, why? And he said, you sound too much like Luxembourg. And so therefore you've got to be de-Luxembourgized.
10 seconds to go before Radio 1, Tony Blackburn, and Radio 2, Paul Hollingdale. Stand by for switching. Get tuned to Radio 1 or 2. 5, 4, 3. Radio 2, Radio 1, go.
That has been with me all my life. And if I could be paid maybe just £1 for the times that opening has been played on radio, I would be a very, very rich man.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, hi and welcome to another session of Breakfast Special, and we're here to sock it to you right through to 9 a.m. this morning, and we hope to coax you out of bed with at least some of the sounds that we have for you.
BBC Radio Brighton on 202 metres and on 95.8 VHF.
The words and their tune that'll ring out, some say, for many centuries to come.
There's a new wireless station called Thames Valley Broadcasting, and I want you all to listen.
Excuse me, sir. Can I play my records now?
Well, of course you can. Stupid boy.
Muhammad Ali, he floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee.
I met Muhammad Ali at the New Victoria Theatre when he came over for a tour following the fight. And so what I did was I marched down the auditorium and made a triumphant speech about welcoming him to Great Britain and all this, that and the other. Of course, he immediately was all ears. And then I happened to slip in the title of the song, Black Superman. And he said, "I want to hear this right away, man."
Blue Danube Radio. Sounds great.
On the 23rd of August 1979, the day the permanent offices of the United Nations were opened in Vienna, Blue Danube Radio went on air.
This is Blue Danube Radio from our studios in Vienna, broadcasting on 102.5 FM. My first few days at Blue Danube Radio were extremely exciting. When I got here, I found that nothing had been prepared at all, and we had just about 3 days to get the station on the air. Nobody knew exactly what to do. They didn't know exactly what music was going to be played until that very first day on the 23rd of August 1979.
Hi there from me, Paul Hollingdale, and once again we're at the movies. Girl on the Train is no masterpiece, but if you don't mind enduring some nerve-tingling Bridget Jones is a wonderful paradox of utter hopelessness and incredible confidence, and Nocturnal Animals is indeed a vividly absorbing movie which will touch your senses, if you're prepared to allow your mind to Captain Fantastic has been widely acclaimed, to my mind, one of the best pictures of the year.
Hello, well that's Arnold Schwarzenegger flexing his muscles as Conan the Destroyer in gladiatorial combat in the second of a series of successful movies featuring the exploits of the mythical warrior. And during the final hour, of course, Music USA, in which we take a look and find out exactly what's happening on the other side of the Atlantic with the US Top 10 and one or two of the breakers over there. This is Phil Everly.
This is Vienna International Radio.
Vienna International Radio here is to serve the community. In fact, the 200,000 strong community of people who speak English as their first language. And as far as the station is concerned, our ideals are pretty much what you'd find on any local radio station. Good music content, local news particularly, and telling people about how to improve their lives here in the city. I've never been employed by anyone since the early days of the BBC. And when you're freelance, you take risks, you do things that you wouldn't normally do. And some people are adept at doing that. I happen to be that person who doesn't care. Mind you, I have to say something, that if I'd had a family, kids and all that sort of thing, I probably wouldn't have been able to do what I've done.
There she stood in the doorway. I heard the mission bell, and I was talking to myself. This could be heaven, or this could be hell.
You're on my mind like a song on the radio. You're on my mind like a song on the radio.
In the 60s particularly, and into the early 70s, as I was a household name, hosting a show that was pulling in millions. Well, when that goes from you and you leave the BBC, you're out in the open world. So when you say so near, yet so far, I was so near to the escalation of some sort of fame and fortune, and so far away from it in some respects. I think it's a very apt title for the life that I've led.
You're on my mind like a song on the radio.
Broadcasters never die, they fade away.